This is problem 2.11 from Francois Tardieu's Backgammon Strategic Concepts book from chapter 2, Should You Leave Your Advanced Anchor? In this problem, we're looking at a position where we have a 20-point advanced anchor, which is the strongest of all the advanced anchors. Securing an early advanced anchor is an asset which benefits our game in numerous ways. An advanced anchor enables us to play boldly because it makes it easier for us to escape our back checkers, and it makes it easier for us to re-enter from the bar if we get hit. Also, an advanced anchor reduces our opponent's choice of game plans because it minimizes our opponent's chances of blocking us in, as well as weakens our opponent's chances of blitzing us. Finally, an advanced anchor forces our opponent to play more cautiously because it gives us better control over our opponent's outfield board, making it easier to hit our opponent's blots in their outfield. Securing an early advanced anchor is certainly a long-term asset in the opening phase of the game, but we must know when to give it up. Although the decision on when to break an anchor is complicated, we can look at a few factors which will point us in the right direction. We should consider running from our advanced anchor if we're ahead in the race, or we have the stronger innerboard or prime. Also, if the degree of damage suffered should we get hit by running, if it's minor, if we're not going to get hurt too much, then we might consider running from our advanced anchor if the time is right. And also, if by staying on our anchor, we're going to hurt our flexibility, that's a sign we might want to run. We must weigh all these factors in order to make our decision. As usual in backgammon, there are always exceptions. Here's the position. We're blue. We rolled a 5-4. Our home board's in the bottom right. We've got the 20-point anchor. We'll look at two of the top moves, try to figure out which one is best. I'll give you my quick observations on each of the two moves. We'll look at some of Tardieu's key points, Tardieu's expert analysis with feedback from XG. We'll look at Tardieu's summary. I'll modify the position, which raises a few questions. And then at the end of the video, I'll show you a couple of videos that I recommend from YouTube. Marc Olsen's Backgammon Christmas Calendar, where it goes over the 20-point. Also, Dan Rovira's Running Off the 20-point video from his Backgammon is Beautiful YouTube channel. Here's the first possible move, moving 20 to 11, hitting the blot on the 11 like this. This races when we're ahead in the race. We're going to be up by 35 pips after the roll. And we're bringing an 11th checker down into the battle and sending white to the bar. This does give up our 20-point anchor, and it passes up a chance to make a strong innerboard point, the 4. It does also leave two blots, one on the 20-point and one blot on the 11-point. The second possible move is to make our 4-point by moving 9-4 to 8-4 and A4 like this. 9-4 and 8-4. This makes a strong innerboard point, the 4-point. So now we have very strong points on both sides of the board. The 4-point is very strong, and the 20-point is very strong. We still have our anchor on the 20-point. White still has two vulnerable blots that he needs to clean up, the 14-point blot and the blot on the 11-point. This does leave a blot on the 9-point for us, and it passes up a chance to hit and send white to the bar. Some factors to consider again, we should look at the race. We might break and run from our anchor if we're ahead in the race. If we have the stronger innerboard or prime, we should consider possibly running. If the damage we'd possibly suffer by getting hit would only be minor, that's another sign we might want to run from our advanced anchor. We should consider running if we have now or soon to have an inflexible position or poor timing. and we should consider staying on our advanced anchor, not moving. If we have good timing and a flexible position, we might want to use that flexibility and timing to improve our board rather than make a risky run for our anchor right now. Also, we should look at our opponent's board. If they have many stripped points, we may want to give them a chance to weaken their board or give us shots before we give them any shots. We don't want to give them any free gifts. Here is a comparison of the two final boards. Take a look, think of which one looks better to you. Here's the before and after of the play where we move 20 to 11 and send our opponent to the bar. And here's the before and after of the second play where we don't hit our opponent. Instead we make the 4-point before and after. Again, take a look at the two boards. Think of which one you would make and which board you would prefer. The hitting board or the board where we didn't hit, we made a point instead. And let's see what Tardieu and XG have to say. Tardieu and XG say that hitting 20 to 11 like this will increase our racing lead and give us a builder on the 11-point. However, as our inner board is very weak, we only have the 6-point cover, that's it. White can easily regain the initiative by hitting our block, coming in and hitting us on the 20-point, or making an anchor. It's too early to leave our anchor, 20-point anchor, for an advantage like this, which may turn out to be short-lived. It's too valuable of an asset to give up this quickly. Instead, Tardieu and XG say make the 4-point, like this. This makes the 4-point, improving our offensive structure down here, while preserving our anchor on the 20-point and keeping decent distribution with 3 checkers in the midpoint here, a builder on the 9-point here, which are all going to be aiming at either the 7-point or 5-point or 3-point. If we don't hit, not only will we have an advantage both at the front and back, the 4-point and the 20-point, we'll be leaving white with 2 blots to clear up. White still has to clean up this blot here on the 14-point and the 11-point. We can hit white with a 2 or a 6 or a 9. And so white's going to have to worry about those two before he does anything. So Tardieu and XG tell us that even though we're ahead in the race and we would only suffer minor damage if hit, we should be extra patient when considering a run from the 20-point anchor. Here we have a good alternative, making a strong innerboard point. And that's what Tardieu's summary says. At the beginning of a game, there's no hurry to break a strong advanced anchor like the 20-point anchor, especially when there's a better strategic alternative, making the 4-point. If I modify the position, move the anchor back from the 20 to the 22-point, like this, let's see what happens. When we move our 20-point anchor to the 22-point, XG now tells us that either running from the anchor or making the point, the 4-point they're just as good. I believe this tells us that the 22-point anchor is not as valuable as the 20-point anchor. So the fact that this was on the 22-point, not the 20-point, made this less valuable. Given the opportunity, we can run to safety even without being able to hit a blot. So even though we're not even hitting the blot, we're not hitting white, it's still better, not by much, by a little bit, to run over making the 4-point. Pretty close though. I think I'm interpreting this correctly, but I might be missing something. Let me know if you agree or not, or if you have a question or a comment. All feedback is welcome. Check out Marc Olsen's Backgammon Christmas calendar, the 20-point, from his Backgammon Galaxy YouTube channel, where he goes over the features and the benefits of the 20-point anchor. And also check out Dan Rovira's enlightening video running out the 20-point anchor, from his excellent Backgammon is Beautiful YouTube channel, where Dan provides an in-depth analysis of when to run from the 20-point anchor.